Atma Namaste and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. We're continuing with Grandmaster Twakok Sui's Golden Lotus Sutras on compassionate objectivity. Before we start, let us invoke for divine blessing. Put your hands on your heart. To the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to our beloved teacher, Grandmaster Twakok Sui, Mahaguru Jimeling, all the great ones, all the spiritual elders, all the holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers, we humbly invoke for your great blessings, your divine light, divine love, guidance, help, healing, and divine protection. Thank you for blessing us with a loving heart, an intelligent mind, and a powerful will, that we may be of service to God and to humanity. We thank you in full faith, so be it. All right, so before we start, let us do a quick cleansing like we always do. So tap your crown, press the center of your palms, focus on your crown, your hands, and your feet. We will chant the Om, all right? Just concentrate on your crown. Imagine your feet in salt water so that when the dirty energy flushes out, you'll go into salt water and then into the earth. Okay, you ready? Just be still, feel the divine energy flushing any negative thoughts, negative energies out of your chakras, out of your subtle bodies, out of your meridians, to be disintegrated in the salt water as well as be neutralized down into the earth. Feel the divine energy coming down to your entire body. Just be super receptive. The divine energy is coming down your crown. All negative thoughts, negative energies in your crown chakras are being disintegrated, extracted, expelled, and properly disposed of. Your crown chakra is cleansed and highly activated and super energized. Your crown chakra is cleansed and highly energized and activated. The divine energy is cleansing your forehead, your ajna, and the back of your head. Your forehead, ajna, and the back of your head are being cleansed. Any negative thoughts, negative energies, and blockages in these chakras are disintegrated, extracted, expelled, and properly disposed of. So be it. Your crown, forehead, ajna, back head chakras are cleansed and highly energized and activated. The divine energies cleansing your throat and secondary throat chakras, they're cleansed and energized. The divine energies pouring down to the back of your heart is being cleansed. The divine energies entering your back heart, going to the front, from the back. All negative thoughts, negative energies in your front and back heart chakras are cleansed. The divine energies entering your emotional body. Your emotional astral body is being cleansed. Any anger or resentment energies in these chakras are in the subtle bodies are being dissolved, disintegrated, and expelled properly. Your front back solar plexus are cleansed. All negative cords in your chakras are now disintegrated and severed and cut. So be it, and properly disposed of. Your front back solar plexus chakras are cleansed and properly energized. Your spleen chakras are cleansed. Any cords to your spleen are now being completely cut and severed. Any cords to your liver chakras are being cut and severed and also properly disposed of. Your solar plexus, liver, and spleen chakras are cleansed front and back. So be it. Your navel chakra is being cleansed and properly energized. Your main chakras and kidneys are being cleansed. Your sex chakra, your basic chakra is being cleansed. The divine energy is pouring down to your crown, forehead, ajna, back head, throat, secondary throat, back heart, front back solar plexus, navel, sex, basic chakras. The divine energy is simultaneously pouring down into the inside of your body. Your brain is being cleansed, your eyes, your nose, your throat, your chest, your lungs, your heart are being cleansed. Your stomach, liver, and spleen are being cleansed. Your intestines are being cleansed. Gallbladder is being cleansed. Your kidneys are being cleansed. Your reproductive organs are being cleansed. Simultaneously, the divine energy is pouring down into your spine. Your spine is being cleansed. Your spinal column and spinal fluids are being cleansed. The divine energy is entering your bone marrow in your arms and your legs. The divine energy is pouring down into your entire body like a waterfall into the earth. So be it. Om. be still. Just be aware. Allow the divine energy to continue flushing down your entire system. So be it. Just be receptive. Allow the divine energy to continue cleansing and purifying your system. All right. You may open your eyes. How do you feel? So if you like, you can just get up and do a little bit of shaking. Shake some of that old energy out. Good. All right. Have a seat. When you're ready, pick up your book. We're now on, let's see, on this book at least, there are different versions of this. We're on loving kindness and non-injury. It's on page 25. All right. So be ready to take some notes. A lot of notes, actually. So the previous chapter, or the previous lesson, we studied constancy of aim and effort, one-pointedness, right? You know, as we always say, if you want to be successful, you know, you have to be focused on something, you know, grab onto your target and just keep going, right? You do not stop until you accomplish your objective. Now, that has to be balanced with loving kindness. We talked about that in the previous lesson. So now we're going to focus a little more on loving kindness and non-injury, all right, the love aspect. Okay, practice loving kindness to people and to other beings. That's the first paragraph. Of course, now that you have studied a lot, you realize that human beings are not the only, you know, creations of God. So there are also energy beings. As Master always says, life exists not only in the physical plane or physical dimension, it also exists in other dimensions. That's why you have angelic beings. That's why you have nature spirits. And if you think about it, you know, the body that you see, that's just the physical vehicle or the physical suit or shell the divine energy, the divine being or the spiritual being within us is using. Right? It's just like, you know, you slide into a certain costume or suit. Well, that's your body is your temporary costume. So human beings and energy beings, which you're also an energy being. All right? Now, that's why also in the Meditation Twin Hearts, if you remember, in Meditation Twin Hearts, when you're blessed, let every person, every being be blessed. No exceptions. And then in the Great Invocation, also when you bless the earth, you know, at first, people think you're only blessing human beings, but actually, Master expounded on this and said, let every person, every being be blessed with will, with love, and intelligence. Okay? If you remember the Great Invocation. So all the universal prayers involves all beings in all dimensions. In the Buddhist traditions, that's what they say. Let all beings in all dimensions be blessed with compassion, with healing. In fact, the Buddha Kuan Yin, all right, you know, most of you have heard of her, the mother of compassion. You know, one of the things that she's always seen, you know, like one of the, not seen the images, if you will, or statues, you will see that she has a lot of hands and sometimes in some, a lot of eyes. So a lot of eyes is to see all who are suffering in all dimensions. In fact, the words Kuan Yin is just a shortcut or the nickname, if you will, of her full name, which is Kuan Sir Yin. Kuan Sir Yin means one who perceives. Kuan perceives or sees. Yin is the sound. Kuan Sir means the world. In. So when you talk about it, one of the teachings in the deeper aspects of Buddhism is the Buddha Kuan Yin or the Bodhisattva Kuan Yin sees or hears the cries of the world. When you talk about world, that means in every dimension. That's why the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum is to show compassion, mercy to all beings. All right? Next. If the heart chakra is not developed, the crown chakra cannot be developed. Okay, let me just back up. I just realized when you talk about the thousands of hands, right? First you have lots of eyes. That's to perceive or see. The hands are to help. So the thousands of hands or whatever, many hands that's in the statues is to show that the Buddha Kuan Yin not only sees the cries or hears the cries of the world, she is there to help and offer assistance. Loving kindness. All right? All right. If the heart chakra is not developed, the crown chakra cannot be developed. You already know this. In pranic healing, you know that the heart chakra is the human heart. The crown chakra is the divine heart. The prerequisite of opening the crown is the opening of the heart chakra. Another way Messenger puts it is this. The human heart is love for people you know, personal love. The crown chakra is universal love. You cannot really say you love somebody you've never seen across the world who's suffering when you're beating up the person next to you. When you're projecting negative thoughts, negative emotions towards the person next to you, how could you really say, oh, I really care for that person who's starving across the world? When the person that's in front of you cannot show kindness. Clear? So that's one thing. When the heart chakra is activated, you show kindness and love to people you know. It's a prerequisite and a way to trigger the crown chakra to substantially open. So not only do you care for people around you, as the love expands, which is symbolized by the crown chakra expanding, the love, the love is expanding, not only to people you know, but also people you don't know. So it becomes more universal. All right. So human love, divine love, personal love, universal love. Next, page 25. To be smart is good, but you must also have a good heart. Practice tolerance, patience, kindness in thought, speech, and action. All right. Without loving kindness, without the aspect of the heart, intelligence can be used to connive and harm people. You know, there are people who are super smart, right? They're very smart, but without the heart chakra being activated, that smartness or that intelligence is used to harm or take advantage of people. So the heart chakra is extremely, extremely important. All right? Power without loving kindness manifests as cruelty. So, if somebody has the will to get things done, but without the heart, what happens? People get hurt along the way. So it's cruel. All right? Power without intelligence manifests as stupidity. So if somebody doesn't think, they just say, oh, this is right, and they become fanatical about it. They just keep charging. For all you know, they're charging in the wrong direction. So not too smart. Another term for extreme non-smartness is stupidity. All right? Anyway, let's continue. Okay, so next page. Real love makes you see things as they are. Okay, page 26 now. You have to have love, patience, and tolerance. Where there is love, there will be stillness and peace. Actually, these are two parts. The first part says, where there is love, real love makes you see things as they are. It's something like this. If you really care about someone, really care about them deeply, real, that's why he emphasized the word real love. When you really love someone, you see the strengths as well as the weaknesses, and you learn to understand and accept both. In other words, like your children, you love them so much, but you also, part of you love them so much that you realize they have good points and they have points they have good parts of their character, and there's also not so good parts of their character. But you understand them, and if you really love them, you help them learn through the difficulties, and you try to encourage them to cultivate the good qualities even more. So real love allows you to see someone and take them as they are. All right? Not turn a blind eye. You say, okay, these are your good points, these are bad points. Let me help you with your not so good points. Let me help encourage you with the good points so you can develop them even more. That's essentially what he's saying. So that's part one. Part two of the paragraph says, you have to have love, patience, and tolerance. Where there is love, there will be stillness and peace. All right, we'll cover this a little more later, but essentially it's something like this. Where there is peace, love, and tolerance, where there is love, there will be stillness and peace. Now, if you take it a little deeper, where there is love, okay, the first aspect, every time he talks about love initially, that's human love, the heart chakra, there will be stillness and peace. The question is why? He's basically talking about the process. When there is love, the heart chakra gets activated, triggers the crown. When the heart chakra gets activated and crown gets activated, it draws down a tremendous amount of divine energy. When that divine energy comes down, it's just like you're in a waterfall of brilliant light. When that divine energy comes down, which is consciousness, disintegrates and breaks up and flushes out all the anger, stress, and negativity, you will have stillness and peace. So he's describing the process. So where there is love, there will be what? Stillness and peace. All right? Okay. Then he says, generate one good thought a day about a person you don't like. Now, this has a deep meaning. You see, if you don't consciously generate, see, when you say generate, oftentimes he's saying generate, do something. He is giving you instruction. As you consciously generate good thoughts about the person you don't like, you are creating positive thoughts towards that person. So, as you plant these positive thoughts, two things happen. Number one, the law of karma says whatever you plant, you will harvest. If you keep shooting negative thoughts about this person, that negative energy will be reciprocated to you. You're better off just not thinking about them rather than projecting negative thoughts. In other words, if you have difficulty, you just can't project love to them, which is understandable. Sometimes people have hurt you so badly, right? Just don't think about them. In other words, in your mind, just think, okay, this person is good. They don't, at least in my consciousness at this time, they don't exist. Otherwise, you get fixated. You're better off doing that than just, projecting negative thoughts. Because if you don't think about them, at least you're not planting negative seeds. But that's not enough. Because if you keep doing that, keep pushing it, sometimes what happens? Anxiety builds up. You become a walking volcano. So, if it comes up, you say, okay, I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to experiment, do what the teacher said. Plant good thoughts. Now, sometimes people say, I can't do that. So he lowered the standard. Okay, generate one thought. You just say, okay, he's a good father. And the rest of his life is not good. You stop yourself. Okay, he's a good father, or she's a good mother, or think of one positive trait that person has and praise them for it. So you're not lying. You're not trying to create something out of nowhere. You just say, okay, let's start with what are the good qualities this person has. Let me just praise one of them a day. So that allows you to justify in your mind, oh yeah, it's true. He might be a person I don't agree with, but hey, let's face it, he's still a smart person. Or he might be a good cook, or whatever. Think of one good quality and say that in your mind. Say, okay, he or she is this. When you do that every day, you're slowly planting good seeds. And the act of giving love or compliment also stimulates your heart. All right? Next. Let's see. When you have love, you see people like children. They cannot help themselves, so you feel more compassion. Like what we said in the previous paragraph, when you love someone, you see them as they are. So instead of judging them, you look at them, well, these are spiritual children. So you feel compassion for them instead of trying to beat them on the head. Okay? So when there's love, you say, well, what can you do? A child will act like a child. A spiritual baby will act like a spiritual baby. I'm the one taking the classes. They are not. I'm the one trying to read, books to make myself better. They're not. So in that sense, they're a baby. I'm maybe a toddler or a teenager. In other words, there's that difference. So you cannot really expect a toddler, so you cannot really expect a baby to behave like a teenager or a baby to behave like an adult. So when you see them as they are, the good and the not so good qualities, you have compassion towards this person. You understand? It's just like if your children, if it's an infant, they dirty their diaper. You're not going to get angry and upset. I can't believe it, this kid, how come he keeps pooping in the diaper? Well, you don't do that because that's what you expect. You understand that is what a child does. So even though you open up, you have to change, it stinks, it smells, you say, it's a baby. So when somebody you don't like is a spiritual baby, they, stuff come out of their mouth that's not pleasant, equivalent to the baby pooping, then you say, well, what can you do? I can't really expect them to be able to control themselves because they're still spiritual babies. That's where compassion comes in. All right, let's continue. What you say must be kind. Words are like water. When you say the right things, when you say the right words, they have nurturing effect. First, master verbal nonviolence, then master nonviolence of thought. Okay, again, these are divided into two. What you say must be kind. Haven't you noticed when somebody says, hey, how are you doing today? That dress looks good on you. Or, hey, that shirt looks good on you. I mean, it could be true or not true. Or it could be they mean it or not. But the fact that when they say it, you feel like, oh, you notice. Even that little bit, you feel good. Imagine if you say that with full sincerity towards someone. You go, you know what? I noticed that each week that I see you developing. You seem to be, doing better and better at this job. What do you think the other person feels like? Oh, yeah, I feel good. You see, when you show that acts of kindness with your words, what happens? It makes the person grow. It's just like pouring water into a plant. Your words are just like watering the soul of the person little by little. So they feel good about themselves, and you, build them up. All right? Let's see. Then it says, master verbal nonviolence. Why is there a sequence? You see, it's easier to master verbal nonviolence. Verbal nonviolence means what? Don't say things that are hurtful. It's easier to start with that first than your mind, because you know why? Part of us says, well, they don't know what I'm thinking. You're a jerk. You're this, right? But at least, even if you think someone, you stop yourself. So that's the first step. Now, after you finish controlling your mouth, then the next thing he says, well, the thoughts, it's what makes the mouth say something. So after you can control the mouth, the next thing is you try to control the thoughts. Like how? You know, that guy has hurt you, for example. You go, oh, that guy, he's such a this. So you say, okay, you stop yourself. You say, stop. Erase. That person, justified or not, is not worth my time. So I'm not going to project negative thoughts and emotions. I just say, anyway, that's your opinion. That's that. Leave it at that. So you keep what? Stopping yourself, giving yourself initially reasons for you not to verbally project negative thoughts. Then later on, the step would be, you know, what can I say? Spiritual children, spiritual baby, they're going to act like kids. So, all right, let the matter pass. You understand? You know, as they say in the United States, let the matter pass. In other words, don't make a big deal out of it. Whatever, like that. No? Clear? So start with, hold on to your tongue. Hold your tongue. Don't say anything bad. Then the next part is, so you don't have to keep holding your tongue. You change the way you think. It's easier said than done. I know what you're thinking. All of us go through this. But if we don't at least try, you never get there, right? All right, next one. Violence is unregulated use of force. Now, this unregulated use of force can be done with our minds, with our speech, and our actions. Unregulated use of force. So the key is non-violence. Harmlessness is one where you try not to harm, but as he will cover this in the next paragraph, harm is relative. What does that mean? You know, if you're not vegetarian, if you eat meat, obviously, quote unquote, the animal has to be harmed or killed in order to, to be food, right? So in the next paragraph, it says, harmless is a manifestation of loving kindness. There is no need for cruelty. Even the killing of animals for food can be done an ahimsa manner. Ahimsa is a Sanskrit term for non-violence. In other words, just like in the kosher tradition and some other traditions where they try to show mercy, they have to kill the animal, right? They have to harm, but it's done in such a way as painlessly as possible. One of the real bad ways that animals are killed is, you heard of veal, V-E-A-L? I don't know, in your country when you're watching this, if they have this. Veal is where they actually put the cow, in a cage, so the cow or the calf, the small cow, doesn't get to move. So it's constricted. Without moving, the muscles don't develop, so the meat is very tender. Now, that's really, really cruel. I mean, really, really bad. Just for the pleasure of humans, what happens? These animals are kept in a very inhumane or cruel environment, so they don't develop muscles. I mean, could you imagine? That is really cruel. That is not even close to ahimsa. It's not even humane. I mean, lack for a better term. You get what I'm saying? So, on the other side of it is when a yogi really wants to practice harmlessness and ahimsa, non-violence, right? At all, period. No violence, no harm at all. They do their best to be vegetarian. In other words, they're vegetarian because why? They say, let me take it to a much higher level. I won't even eat meat. I won't even eat anything where the animal has to be killed or harmed, even in humane way. You see what I'm saying? But I remember Master Cho saying, only become vegetarian when you're ready. Because some people, there's that still craving in the body. The body needs, I guess, certain nutrients from it, whatever. But as long as you consciously eat, as far as you know, that this corporation company that prepares the food, hopefully, kills the animal with mercy as fast as possible with minimal pain. All right. But that's one of the reasons why some yogis, or a lot of yogis, are vegetarian, is to show mercy to the animal kingdom by not eating it. So obviously, if you don't eat, you don't have to kill. Something to that effect. All right. Next one. Loving energy is real. It can be used to neutralize antagonistic energy. The antidote for cruelty is loving kindness and non-injury. Without love, there is only criticism, hatred, and anger. So without love, you have a tendency to see the faults of other people. Without loving kindness, there's a tendency to just see, what are the mistakes the person does. Haven't you noticed when somebody has hurt your feeling and there's subconscious hatred or anger within you? Every time they make one little mistake, what do? We put a magnifying glass. You notice that? It's like, oh, they make one mistake. For you, it's like, oh, I can't believe it's the end of the world. Why can't believe you did that? But if somebody you care about make a mistake, what do? It's okay, no problem. Everybody makes mistakes. It's funny, if somebody you don't like make a mistake, you never say, oh, everybody makes a mistake. What do? You good for nothing, right? But if it's somebody you love, oh, it's okay. You see how stereotype or biased we are? Double standard? It has to do with love. So the idea is to first realize, what is it? Realize that we can be biased. So if somebody makes a mistake, regardless of we like them normally or not, if you really want to grow, you say, look, everybody makes mistakes. Well, how you treat somebody you care about and somebody you don't care about, it should be the same. At least we try. All right? So loving energy is real. It can be used to neutralize antagonistic energy. So when we do a simple experiment, okay, you ready? Raise your hands. Okay, think of somebody you think might be projecting negative thoughts at you, or somebody you don't like, or they don't like you. Openly, they don't like you. You ready? Raise your hand. Now just scan. Say any negative energy coming from this person. So if you scan, if you're sensitive, you might feel like there's some energy pushing your hand, right? All right, let's try. Tap your heart. Tap your crown. You remember this in psychic self-defense. If you haven't taken the class, take it. You put your hand like this. Focus on your heart. Focus on your crown. Think of this person that you know who you use for the experiment. Project lots of pink. Focus on your heart. Project pinkish energy. Now focus on your crown. Project golden light, golden energy. So be aware of your heart and your crown. Project lots of pink, lots of gold. And just say, God's peace and love be with me. God's peace and love be with you. May you be blessed with peace, love, and lots of blessings. Peace, love, joy, and happiness to you. Just project love, waves of peace, love, joy, and happiness to this person. Just imagine they're, like being saturated with waves of pink and golden energy. You're just swimming in it. Every chakra, every particle of their energy field is just swimming in pink and gold. Just shower them. Lots of pink, lots of gold. Lots of love, lots of pink, lots of gold. Peace, love, joy, and happiness to you. Namaste. So be it. Cut. All right. Done? Okay. Raise your hand. Just scan again. Say any negative energy coming from this person. Whoop. Substantially less. For some of you, maybe not gone, but substantially less. You see, just a short experiment. Just a short experiment. Okay, put your hand like this. Think of that person and just think of a little negative thought. Not too much, just a tiny bit. What you normally have thought about this person. You are this, you are that, like that. Okay, just a little bit. Go. 1, 2, 3. Stop. Ready? Scan. Negative energy coming from this person. What happens? Becomes stronger, right? You see, we added to their problem. We added to their character backsliding, or we make them worse in plain English. So tap your heart, tap your crown, raise your hands, focus on your heart and your crown, shower them with pink, shower them with gold, flood them with lots of love, lots of joy, peace, and happiness. Pink energy, golden energy, waves of love, joy, peace, and happiness to this person. Say, so be it. So be it, so be it, so be it. so be it. Come on, another wave of love, joy, and peace. Just imagine their body's hollow. The entire body's hollow, just saturated with pink and lots of gold. Lots of pink, lots of gold. Say, so be it. Okay, cut. Scan. Hey. Their negative energy decreased tremendously. So maybe that's what they mean by killing them with kindness. You heard that term before? So as you keep showering them with peace, love, joy, and happiness and all the good stuff, the negative energy becomes less and less. The question is why. I remember Master Cho talked about this in, many years ago in the first or second psychic self-defense class he taught. He said something like this. It's called the aura interaction. So when you have two auras, the aura of person A and person B, when person A projects negative thoughts towards person B, even though person B is not conscious about it, his or her aura will project negative energy back. Okay? When a person A projects loving energy towards person B, even if person B does not want to, okay? Even if person B does not want to, that person's aura will project loving energy back. In other words, as you keep dumping good energy, I know that sounds a little coarse, but I'm trying to get the point across. As you keep projecting, not just projecting, but you're dumping lots and lots of pink, gold, loving energy. The aura doesn't have a choice to project the same good energy back. So in the process of them doing that, certain chakras within them are being developed because their heart and crown chakras will also be developed. And guess what happens? Before you know it, they go, strange. How come I'm not as angry as with you anymore? How come you actually are a pleasant person? And you notice the relationship improving. I remember Master Cho was talking about the story. There's this person who works in an office. And in this office, there's this guy who is a pain in the neck. He's just a pain to everyone. So this student who took the class with Master Cho, remember what Master Cho said. Whatever I plant, I will harvest. So every day, for a month, he would just project love, joy, kindness, just flood the person with good energy, loving energy. In about 1 month's time, this person became nice to him. But he's still a pain to everybody else. You see, everybody was sowing, planting negative thoughts, negative energy, so guess what they get? In his case, karmically, since he was planting good energy, loving energy, he is only entitled to to reap or harvest good energy. That's not bad, huh? He's just good to him, but nasty to everybody else. It clearly shows the law at work, just like that. All right, let's move on. Loving kindness in action is being helpful. Loving kindness is like watering flowers. Dirty food, dirty your body, but dirty words, dirty your soul. You already know this. We talked about this before. When you show kindness with your words, people grow, right? You say the right words. And the last part, dirty food may dirty your body, but dirty words dirty your soul. Let me put it in a way that helps me remember. I remember Master Cho said, there is no point in being vegetarian when what comes out of your mouth is nasty. In other words, you are trying to, I only eat clean food. What's the worst thing could happen? You eat quote-unquote not clean food, right? Let's say you're vegetarian, you eat meat. Okay, you're trying to clean your system, keep your body high vibration. But when you get angry and upset, you scream, you shout, all this negative energy comes out. There's a saying, you cannot throw mud unless you're full of mud in the first place, right? You cannot throw mud unless you're full of mud. Or, as the Lord Buddha used to say in his teachings, anger is like somebody holding hot coal and ready to throw it at someone. He burns himself first. You see what I'm saying? So, a lot of times we get so busy about the external things. Clean food, clean water, clean air. We forget these just keep the vehicles clean. What's important is everything, including the soul, is clean. So we have character defects. We all have our own negative thoughts towards someone. We try to not only eat clean food, drink clean water, have fresh air, but at the same time what? It's good to learn how to forgive and learn to project love and good energy towards others. That's what he's saying. All right? By the way, I'm not claiming to have mastered this. I'm only his student. So I'm also in the process, like most of you. And if you already mastered it, well, you're watching the wrong video, because this is kindergarten stuff for you. But all of us, the rest of us, we're still learning. And the funny part is, just when you thought you claim to have mastered it, a test comes. You notice that? So, alrighty. Anyway, let's see. By showing loving kindness to a person, you are showing loving kindness to God. We are all children of God, connected, rooted, and... Okay, I'm going to page 28. We're all children of God, connected, rooted, and one with God. So, I think that sums it all. You know, if you believe in oneness, a lot of people can, oh, we are one. Okay. Do you really know what you just said? When you really mean it at a deep level, oneness means we are all connected. It is because of this oneness that there is the law of karma. Without the law of karma, without oneness, there could not be law of karma, right? It's because we are one. That's why what we plant on someone, we are actually planting on ourselves. So it manifests externally as you plant, you harvest. It's because of this oneness. And when we have a realization that we are one with all, everyone, then we realize, in the Muslim tradition, they say there is nothing but God. So everything in existence is actually a particle of a supreme God. So this oneness and this law of karma work hand in hand. So it's easy to recite verses, it's easy to say, oh, I understand that concept, but to live that concept, well, that's why we take lifetimes and lifetimes. And it takes somebody like a great saint like the Buddha Kuan Yin, the Lord Buddha, the Lord Christ, who can embody those things. In our case, we're still taking baby steps on the way, but the good news is we have great teachers to give us step-by-step instruction. All right? Okay. Be non-violent in your thoughts, words, and actions. Page 28, second paragraph. Practice loving kindness and non-injury. Your actions must be soft, be externally gentle and loving, but internally strong. In other words, inside you have firm, you have strong character. You know what is right, what is wrong. But how you express it has to be done kindly. It's something like this. It's like having children. When you have children, you want to discipline them, right? You say, okay, don't do this, but you have to do this, right? You know what is right and what is wrong because, all of us have, hopefully as parents, already know what to do and what not to do based on our experience, so we know how to teach our children. But how we teach it will determine how well the lessons are learned. If we're too harsh, using too much force, right? Unregulated use of force, or the dosage is too strong, the children rebel. So, although you want to express this principle firmly, right? Internally strong, you want to say this, but how you say, honey, or you say, my little sweetie pie, look, I know you're angry, but try to be forgiving. Let's not do this thing because if you do that, you get hurt. You don't say, you are you're good for nothing, you don't do that. So if you do that, you go to hell. Even though that's, what you're saying is, in principle, correct, that if they do this, they get hurt. You use too much force with your words, what happens? You scare the daylights out of the child, or if you keep pounding them in the head, at some point they develop an immune system, an emotional immune system where they don't listen anymore. Haven't you noticed that? That's what happens. So what he's saying is, be externally gentle and loving, but internally you're firm. All right? Let's see. There's a yang side and a yin side of loving kindness. Loving kindness is not always soft. It can be hard. Sometimes you must be severe out of kindness. So this has many levels of truth. That statement alone could be books and volumes. What he's saying is, if you really care for someone, sometimes you have to say certain things towards that person. It might initially be too forceful, but knowing that person, that's the only way the person learns. For example, you notice that this person likes to give excuses, okay? You love someone, but this person doesn't get anything done. They keep giving excuses left and right. So because of that tendency to keep giving excuses, they don't take responsibility. Guess what happens? They keep losing their job, for example. So instead of saying, okay, it's all right, it's the company's fault, or it's not your fault, you sit them down and you say, look, I love you. I want you to be successful. So let me tell you, in between the eyes, you have to take responsibility. All these different situations, the reason it didn't work because you did not fulfill your obligation. You did not do what you're supposed to do as your commitment to that job. You didn't show up at work on time. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. That's why it failed. So, if you really want to succeed, these are the things you need to correct. You see what I'm saying? It's almost, some people call it hard love. But of course, it has to be done in a certain dosage, because if you do it too strong, you destroy the self-esteem of that person. Then that person could become depressed, or if you come on too strong and that person's psychological defense system comes up, they'll deny everything and you didn't get anywhere. All right? Moderation and balance. Injury can be done through inaction. Tolerating a wrongful deed is equivalent to injury through inaction. You already know this. If you notice somebody is doing something that is hurtful and you don't do anything, you are an accessory to that injury. In other words, because you could have stopped them, and by stopping them, less people or no one is going to be hurt. If you don't stop them, then other people get hurt. This is like a fine line, because sometimes you say, well, I don't want to I want to help, but at the same time I don't want to come across as that I know everything. So this is where accurate perception, remember the first virtue you worked on? Accurate perception, correct expression comes in. You think you have to carefully observe the situation, interpret properly, and think of the proper way to do it, so that you get the job done, you're able to help someone without coming across like you know everything. All right? Okay, 28, page 28, last paragraph. Love has to be under the control of the will, guided by wisdom and intelligence. What a fantastic summary. Love has to be under the control of the will. In other words, you love someone, you care for someone, but you don't just say, honey, I love you, I'll do anything for you, and without thinking, using your head and without regulating, what you do. So, love has to be under the control of the will, guided by wisdom and intelligence. All right? That's why you always have the triangle. We talk about this in the other lessons. The triangle, or the triple energy, is love, intelligence, and will, or love, intelligence, and power. Just like you have God manifesting as power, God manifesting as love, God manifesting as intelligence. You have, in the Hindu tradition, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma. In the Christian tradition, you have God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. So every culture, major religion, in those cultures, always have the triple energy, the Trinitarian energy. So God, as you heard, as above, so below. So God, having these triple qualities, manifests in us as the ability to think, the ability to love, and the ability to act or do something, the will to do something. All right? Let's see. We are on page 29. Love is like food. It makes your chakras big and it feeds you. Let's try something. Okay? Raise your hand like this. Okay, just scan your own crown. Say my crown, my ajna, my throat, my heart, my solar plexus, my navel. Just scan 3 or 4 of your chakras. Are you ready? Okay, just open your palms. Let's just do a simple experiment. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, we humbly invoke for your loving energy. Please bless us and fill us with your love, your mercy, and your compassion. I, the soul, and all my vehicles, all my subtle bodies, my chakras, my channels, energy channels, completely, deeply, and permanently accept your infinite loving energy. Lord God, thank you. Thank you for flooding me with your love, your mercy, and your compassion. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your loving energy. I fully, willingly, gratefully accept this into the deepest part of my being. So be it. So be it. So be it. So be it. Take a deep breath and exhale. Take a deep breath again and exhale. All right. You ready? Scan your chakras again. What do you notice? Scan your crown. Your crown, your ajna, your throat, your heart, navel, sex, basic, whatever chakras you scan. What do you notice? Right? Okay. That's why I remember my teacher said before, if you want your children to do better in school, not only do you do the transmutation of sexual energy, remember the sweeping, super brain yoga, you have to keep watering them with loving energy. When you keep watering or nurturing them with loving energy, the chakras expand. When the chakras expand, more energy can come in. They have better processing power. It's just like a computer. It's just like you have an upgraded processor. So when your chakras are bigger, more energy can come in. You can process more information. The kid becomes smarter. You with me so far? So there's several fold. One is the energy. The other thing is the thoughts that you implant. So if you project lots of loving energy, say, you know, honey, you're good, you're doing good in school, you're smart, so on, so on. All these things is like watering, plus you give them more energy. Now, if you keep saying they're not worth anything and they'll never do anything, guess what? Not only do you deprive them that good energy, you're clogging them with your negative thoughts. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it still boggles the mind. You know, some things that are so simple, yet the teacher explains it so clearly and, more importantly, so practically that we can use it every day. Don't you think so? I think so. All right. Next one. Life without love is like living in a refrigerator, ice cold. You know, everything's doing well in your life, financially you're doing well, you're smart, you understand every subject in the world. If there's no love, there's no warmth. There's no caringness. So balance. Love is important. Whether you like it or not, you think you have everything. Without love, you wither. Remember? Watering makes a plant grow. Without water, it withers. All right? Do not wallow in bitterness and resentment. You get healed by love. It is love that heals. You know, this love goes both ways. In other words, you have to learn to love and care for other people, but you also have to care and love for yourself. When you care and love for yourself, you are basically admitting that what? You are part of God. You are a divine being. You just say, you know, I, the soul, the real I, is made in the image of God. So I must be worth something. I'm not all bad. So the manifestation of God is in me. So I'm in the process of living up to that. But inside, I am a child of God. So you learn to love yourself. Then you say, if I'm a child of God, so are these people. So I learn to love myself, I learn to love other people. That's basically what the teacher is teaching. All right? Okay. When you react strongly, reaction from other people will be strong. When you act with loving kindness, it will cool them down. You already know this. When somebody's angry and upset, the more you get angry and upset, the thing escalates. You know, there's something that people say that's not really that smart. They say you fight fire with fire. In certain situations, yes, right? But most of the time, you fight fire with fire, you just make a bigger fire. In other words, the thing escalates. So what happens? You fight fire with water, you cool them down. So when somebody's angry and upset, don't sit there and argue. It doesn't get you anywhere. Do you notice that? Because you're trying to be right, and they're trying to be right. So before you know it, it explodes. So what Masacho was saying one time, he says, look, here's what you do. You retreat. In other words, you do not add any more fire. You just say, okay, we'll discuss this another time. Or somehow end the conversation. And then from there, what do? In your meditation, shower them with pink, shower them with gold, And if they're volatile, emotionally volatile, you project loving energy, pink energy, gold energy, and a little bit of blue to cool them down. The blue is to what? To calm the solar plexus. All right? All right. Next one. As you give, you will harvest. If you plant loving seeds, you will harvest love. If you give love, you'll receive love. Life is like an echo. What you send out comes back to you many, many times. You know, remember you go, hello, it comes back, hello, 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 hello. You know, like if you're in like a cavern, hello, it echoes back, hello, 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 something like that. It comes back many times. That's why Master always says, the principle is life is like an echo, right? And it's like soil. Whatever you plant one apple seed, it does not come back one apple, it comes back many, many apples. There's a multiplying effect, all right? Practice loving kindness, okay? Invoking for God's blessing. Why don't we do this? Before we cover this prayer, let's just go to the next page, page 31. It's a short one. I think we can cover it, and then we'll come back to the prayer. On Mercy and Compassion, page 31, compassion is seeing other people without losing your inner calmness. In other words, you see them as they are, you understand it, you stay calm, you stay cool. You must show mercy in order to receive mercy. Now, this part is extremely important. Some of you remember in the Bible, there's a story where this person was in front of a king. He made a mistake, so he's asking the king for mercy. Then somehow in the story, somebody came out that owed money to him, and he wouldn't forgive that person. So the king, being upset, said, hey, you don't show mercy to that person? Okay, I'll lock you up. In other words, that's the Lord Jesus said, mercy, blessed are the merciful, mercy shall be shown to them. It's basically based on the law of karma. So, in order to receive mercy, we show mercy. If you're going through difficult times in your life, learn to give money and your time and your efforts to helping somebody in need. Like what? The feeding programs you have in your different countries, right? Message was started here in the United States many, many years ago, and it has spread all over the world. Feeding programs, tithing to disaster-stricken areas. I don't have to name it. At any given time, you heard of people having earthquakes, what else? Floods, right? Places where children are abandoned, places where women are hurt. You know, there's always something to give to. So you just think, I like to have mercy. These people need mercy. So as I give and share to these organizations, or even go there and help, mercy is shown to them, their life improve. Karmically as well as, karmically, you planted good seeds, you will harvest it. All right? Do not unto others what you don't want them done unto you. If you're living in a street, would you want someone to give you money? So it's always the idea of turning the tables around. If you look at someone and they're suffering, you think, well, if there's really oneness, what if the tables are turned and I'm really them? How would you feel? That's what the teacher is talking about. That's why I remember, it's just one of those things that it just boggles your mind when you watch the teacher. I remember many times we were walking down many streets and there are a lot of people, like homeless. He would get money from his wallet and also on the ATM machine, and he would be giving money out. He says, how could we say, our Father who art in heaven? Our Father means our. You're not praying to my Father, you're praying to our Father. So that means these are our spiritual brothers and sisters. How could we pray our Father and not lift a finger in helping these people? And you watch it, it's just amazing to see the teacher show so much mercy. And I remember I shared this with some of you in some of the older lessons, I remember he was getting money from the ATM machine, and he would only give him $300, $20 bills like that. Of course, $20 with so many homeless, it's gone. So he was getting upset. I can't believe this banks. How come they only give $300? He wanted to give more, but the bank won't spit out any more money. Don't you find that amazing? Being with a teacher just these short years, relatively, it's 20 years. It's just amazing. Of course, in that 20 years, I get to see him just a few times when he comes to the United States or where I visit him or when I visit him in other countries. It's just an hour here, 2 hours there, a few days here and there. But in those little segments of time, you get to see the divinity of God within the teacher. You get to see how things that we never thought of, he would say, look, you see that person over there? He is in need. I go, really? He's just sitting there. I said, no, look at the way he acts. Look at the way his face, his eyes. He needs help. Here, give him some money. I go, Master, really? And he would do this, and sure enough, when you get the person starts crying because nobody ever paid attention to him, and yet somebody out of nowhere gives him $100, just blows their mind. So I want to instill in you that in the teachings taught by the teacher through his books, he lived them. He lived those teachings. And I hope that in some way we can, absorb those teachings so it'll transform our lives too. All right? Mercy and loving kindness manifest as human rights. This means that persons are entitled to their own opinion no matter how ridiculous it is. But here's the key part. They do not have the right to force their views on other people. In other words, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But for me to push it on you, they say, I'm right and you're wrong. If you don't believe in what I believe, you're doomed. That's different. That's harmful or verbal or mental violence already. You get the idea? Okay? The funny part, I remember many years ago, somebody used to say, sincerity is not the gauge. It's not just being sincere does not make somebody right, because somebody can be sincerely wrong. So if a person believes in something and they're very sincere about it, they could be sincerely right or they can be sincerely wrong. But for them to impose that on someone, that is completely wrong. That's what he's saying. When overactivated, the will may make a person judgmental and cruel. You're really forceful. You want to pound people in the head, right? It could be cruel. The difference between a dictator and a saint is the degree of development of the heart. Both have strong will. The dictator has the will to get what he or she wants, and everybody has to follow, otherwise they get punished. The saint, on the other hand, also has the will to do something, but it's something good, and it is done in such a way that people just love that saint and follow what the saint does or says. Clear? The difference is what? Heart chakra. When a person goes through a lot of suffering, he develops compassion. All right, let's talk about this a little bit. When somebody has back pain, you look at them, you say, oh, they have back pain. All right, take some medication. Let me do some healing. Right? But if you have ever experienced that kind of back pain, what happens? When you see somebody in back pain, you go, wow, I know what that's like. So you do what you can to help them out. You see, it's based on the law of karma. There's two ways to learn. When you see somebody suffering, or you create suffering, you don't really know the impact of what that has on that person until you experience it. So there's two ways. Number one, you see somebody suffering. You say, yeah, I'm not really sure what that's like, but, it must be bad. You do your best to conceptualize. Then you say, let me do something to help them. So the lesson is learned. You help someone. You generate good karma, right? The second scenario, you hurt someone. You don't really know the impact of that injury on a deep level until karmically it comes back. You get what I'm saying? So I remember Master Cha saying, be careful when you judge people. When you judge people, be ready. Make sure that you'll never make the same mistake. Because when you judge people and say, you're this and you're that, be careful. That standard you set might be used on you. Think about it. That's why when people sit there, they feel they're so righteous, they never make a mistake, they keep telling people, you're right, you're wrong, you're this, so on, so on, so on. Watch out. Make sure that person never makes a mistake, because when they make a mistake, it comes back multiplied. It's just like if you have children. A child makes a mistake, what happens? You say, well, the child doesn't know any better, so maybe minimal discipline. But if that child already knows what they are supposed to do or not supposed to do, and they do it anyway, what happens? The disciplinary action is worse because they should know better. It's the same thing. So when we sit there and judge people, you're this, you're that, you better be clean. Because if you're not completely clean, watch out, it comes back. Haven't you noticed that with politicians? Right? In some cases, the politicians start mudslinging. They didn't realize that the law of karma is at work. If they keep doing that, it comes back. And all of us, what? All of us are in the process of evolving. We're not perfect. We have done stupid things in the past, right? Well, let's put it this way. If you are not capable of making any mistakes, why do we need teachers? So all of us are evolving. So this person that's done dumb things, they're also in the process of evolving. Clear? I hope that gets the point across. All right? Compassion means that you do something to alleviate the suffering of another. Okay? I think that's obvious. Having compassion is not enough. Compassion must be accompanied by intelligence. If you want to give money to charity, give wisely. I remember Master Cha saying, make sure to find organizations that are really doing the work, are really caring for people, then you give to them. It's just like, same thing, if you're going to invest in a company, you want to know what the company does. The company is doing good things. It's helping people. It's helping the environment. They're doing acts of compassion. Okay, I'll invest. Clear? Compassion has to be accompanied by intelligence. Instead of feeling anger or hatred, a great soul feels compassion. All right, this goes in much more detail. In the book Spiritual Essence of Men, Master Cha talks about 3 alchemical centers. What is alchemy? Alchemy is transforming, in the Middle Ages, transforming lead to gold. Transforming something gross to something refined. Now, in spirituality, if you look at the aura of somebody who's angry, upset, and full of hatred, the aura is grayish. It looks like lead. If you look at the image of a saint, or the aura of a saint, like you notice in a lot of Catholic churches, Hindu temples, Buddhist temples, you see golden statues. It is to symbolize that that soul has developed such a high degree of spiritual oneness and divinity, or divine oneness and divine connection. The aura is golden. They've been able to transform and transmute the negative thoughts, negative emotions, and anger and hatred into love and kindness. So, in these 3 alchemical centers, that is in the Spiritual Essence of Men book Master Cha wrote, basically what he's saying is, from anger and hatred and resentment, it is transmuted into forgiveness. From forgiveness, as it reaches the crown, it is transmuted into compassion. Let me put you in plain English. You notice sometimes when somebody has hurt you a lot, at first you're angry, resentful, you just want to destroy them, right? That's on the lead stage. You're like, lead, grayish. Then over a period of time, as you spiritually develop, your heart is expanded, your crown expands, divine energy comes down, we learn the teachings of oneness on a much deeper level. What happens? You learn to forgive. So that negative energy is now transformed into forgiveness and love. You care for them, Yeah. Anyway, everybody makes mistakes, so you forgive. Then, as it goes higher, instead of just forgiving, you actually feel compassion. You go, this person has done this mistake, has done that to me. They don't realize the law of karma. It'll come back and make their life worse in the future. I pray, Lord God, that this person will learn from their mistakes and they will evolve. It's just like in the story of the Bible, when the Lord Jesus was on the cross, he did not say, Father, they generate bad karma by doing this to me. What did he say? Father, forgive them. They do not know what they do. In other words, he actually not only forgave them, he has compassion. That's what Master Cha is talking about. So, that's what we aim for. Not only do we forgive, we practice loving kindness and realize that not only forgiving is not enough, we have to have compassion, actually do something to help them, to pull them out of that hole. All right? Let's see. Compassion is a path to oneness. There you go, we're talking about it. It activates the crown chakra, which facilitates the achievement of divine oneness. We talked about that, right? From anger and hatred to forgiveness to love and compassion and oneness. All right. So, why don't we do this? Go to page 30. Just open your palms. Now think of, we'll just make this short because the application of this is so wide. We'll just pick something short so you have a pattern to use. This was taught in many of Master Cho's books. Think back a day, 2 days, a week, a month. Think of situations where we were harmful or we were hurtful or injurious with our thoughts, our words, or our actions and deeds. Just think. Okay, just pick one. We'll just use it as a pattern. Just pick one. You know, you were screaming and shouting at someone, or you, out of anger, you hit somebody, whatever. Just pick one instance. You ready? Okay. Now, before we do this, scan your heart, your crown, and your spiritual cord. Even your basic chakra, if you like. Just scan crown, spiritual cord, ajna, heart, basic. Just pick those chakras. All right? Now recall the time that you hurt someone with your thoughts, your words, or your actions. Now erase it. Just visualize that image that the mistake you've done, just erase. Erase, erase, erase. If you've taken advanced pranic healing, visualize electric violet. Erase it, disintegrate. Just say disintegrate, disintegrate, erase this negative tendency. Erase this negative energy within my system completely, thoroughly, and permanently. Disintegrate. Lord God, thank you for your blessing. Thank you for disintegrating it completely, thoroughly, and permanently out of my aura. So be it. Okay. Done? Okay. Next. Scan your spiritual cord, your ajna, your crown, your heart, and your basic. Just scan. What do you notice? Bigger, right? Right? Now, visualize yourself doing the right thing. Instead of yelling at someone, instead of hurting them, you thought, okay, what is the right thing to do? I controlled my thoughts, my words, my actions. I did the right thing. I practiced harmlessness, and I even practiced compassion. Visualize yourself doing it. Try it. Close your eyes. See it as vividly and clearly as you can. You're doing the right thing. Make it real. Be happy about it. Just say to yourself, if a similar situation comes up, I'll do the right thing. Just like this. Say, so be it. All right. Open your eyes. How long did that take? Maybe less than a minute? Okay, scan your spiritual cord. Your crown. Ajna, heart, basic. I just pick randomly some chakras. You got bigger, right? Here's the thing. So many people, they do breathing, mantras, affirmations. I mean, those are all good, to make their chakras big. They don't realize, what did the teacher say? Just proper purification. Get this anger, resentment out of our aura, our chakras. That alone, the chakras can breathe. When the chakras can breathe, they become bigger, more energy comes in. And then when we visualize ourselves doing the right thing, we'll end up doing the right thing. As Master Cho said, the thoughts are the seeds. The words and the actions that come out is how we harvest those seeds. In other words, we plant with our thoughts, we manifest and harvest with our words and our action. So the thoughts have to be first correct. So as we keep doing this very simple inner reflection, firm resolution technique that's taught by the teacher, I mean, of course you have to meditate and do other things, but just by doing that, all your meditation become more powerful and effective. Simple, right? So inner reflection, firm resolution. Do it over and over again. We gave you a little pattern, which you should have learned already in class. We're just reminding you of it. So let's finish it with this. Just open your palms. We'll just say it 3 times. Lord God, thank you for blessing me with patience, tolerance, and the ability to accept people as they are. Thank you for blessing me with loving kindness, compassion, non-violence, not just in actions, but also in words and in thoughts. Please help me master this virtue. What comes out of my mind and my mouth must be kind and wholesome, with deep gratitude and in full faith. Okay, just be still. Let's do it again. Lord God, thank you for blessing me with patience, tolerance, and the ability to accept people as they are. Thank you for blessing me with loving kindness, compassion, and nonviolence, not just in action, but also in words and in thoughts. Please help me master this virtue, that what comes out of my mind and my mouth must be kind and wholesome, with deep gratitude and in full faith. Just be still. Lord God, thank you for blessing me with patience, tolerance, and the ability to accept people as they are. Thank you for blessing me with loving kindness, compassion, and nonviolence, not just in action, but also in words and in thoughts. Please help me master this virtue, that what comes out of my mind and my mouth must be kind and wholesome, with deep gratitude and in full faith. So be it. Just be still. Lord God, thank you. In full faith. So be it. Amen. Om. Amen. And so it is. So we did it 3 times. You're supposed to do it 7 times. We're doing it for the sake of time, so we just do it 3 times. All right. Scan your spiritual cord, your crown, your forehead, crown, heart. What else did you scan? Basic chakra. What do you notice? Much bigger, right? So, as we learn to purify our system, more energy flows through, and that energy flowing through is manifestation of the chakras getting cleaner and cleaner, our soul getting cleaner and cleaner also. All right? Anyway, how are you feeling? I think some of you are spaced out, huh? Just doing this very short prayer cleansing, you're already spacing out. So that's good. Be happy. All right. Anyway, let's give thanks, shall we? To the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, we thank you for your great blessings, your divine light, divine love, guidance, help, and protection. To Master Tuakok Sui Mahaguju Mailing, to all the spiritual elders, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers, thank you for all your immense blessing, your mercy and compassion. Thank you, in full faith. So be it. Amen. Om. Amen. And so it is. All right. Okay, that was a longer session than normal, but I hope that it has instilled within you the importance of learning loving kindness taught to us by our beloved Master Tuakok Sui, as well as by all great spiritual teachers. All right? So thank you very much for joining us. Please, as always, leave us some comments. We'd love to hear from you. It's always good that we know that you're learning and how it affects your life. We'd love to hear how your life has been transformed, because, you know, one of the main reasons I do this is because I want to be able to somehow share with you how the teacher has touched my life. And as he has changed my life and the lives of countless thousands, if not millions, you know, we want to also contribute to spreading that a little more, to more souls. And we'd love to hear from you how it has helped your life. All right? And what else? We're going towards the next virtue, which is, let's see, the next one is generosity and non-stealing, which is also a manifestation of love within you. So we'll cover generosity and non-stealing on the next esoteric study group. All right, so thank you very much, and for all of you who are contributing to this ministry to keep this spiritual video ministry free, we thank you very much. May God bless you immensely. May Master Tuakok Sui Mahaguju Mailing, the Lord Christ, the Lord Buddha, and all the high beings bless you with good health, happiness, with lots of prosperity, but most of all, may you be blessed with divine oneness. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for sharing this journey with us. It's very, very important that we don't keep these teachings to ourselves, that may spread far and wide to the entire world. So, thank you very much. Atma means soul. Atma, namaste. Thank you, thank you. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.